Hello, I'm Adam Miller, co-host and associate producer for the RPM Show, and welcome to my newest and latest video review. Now, in this review, I will be reviewing The Last Exorcism. But before I get to that, I want to first state or clarify that I will do as best as I can not to reveal any spoilers, because I'm sure for those of you who have probably not seen the movie yet and are watching this video probably when it posts, that I will do as best I can, not, as I said, not to explode on anything, not to give any major details away. But anyway, for those of you who have probably not seen the movie or probably already have, you probably have heard that the ending of this movie is causing a lot of controversy. Now, I will get to that. I will actually touch base on that a little later. But before I get to that, now, The Last Exorcism is basically about a priest who, as we find out, is a child evangelist. Name is Reverend Cotton Marcus. And evidently he has performed roughly, I guess, as he says, about almost 50 exorcisms. And he believes that what he's trying to do is he allows a documentary crew to come with him as he performs his quote-unquote last exorcism. But in actuality, what he's really doing is basically trying to show people that this whole belief on demonic possession and the need for exorcism or what have you is a crock. I mean, he's kind of grown to believe that this is all superstition. That doesn't exist. It's just, there's a whole mess in there that he just believes that it's all bogus. But however, the case that he works on in Ivanwood, Louisiana, about a little girl who believes that she is possessed by the devil. Well, he does an exorcism, which actually, I'm sorry, I gotta say this. It turns out to be, he kind of fakes the whole thing, because that's simply what he believes, that it's all, weird and bogus. But what ends up happening is it turns out to be a lot more than he anticipated. And soon weird things start happening, and it kind of dulls into she is really possessed. Now, with that being said, I want to touch base on the ending. Now, as I said, I will not spoil anything, so you've got to go and see it to believe it for yourself. I will say that the ending, in actuality, for me, was a surprise. I was literally surprised by the ending, because you've had the first hour and a half to actually decide for yourself whether it was an actual possession or was it a kind of psychological trauma that she was actually experiencing. But what happens is, when they find, you have the ability to decide for yourself whether it was true or wasn't not, and you think it was, this whole trauma, whatever. But then in the final 5 minutes, it takes a literal 180 degree turn into something that literally opened up my eyes and just made me go, okay, now I am really disturbed. Now, it was very disturbing, I must say. Now, that is actually all I'm going to say on the touch base with on the end, as in regards to the ending. Now, in terms of addressing the controversy surrounding the ending, I personally think that it's a little far-fetched. It's a little overrated. I think it was a very good ending. I personally thought that it was a good way to end the movie, mostly because it basically just threw away everything that you thought was going on and just gave you this humongous, it kind of grabbed your face and just said, no, you were wrong. This is what's going on. And it was a great way for a huge surprise ending. And now leaving the theater, I basically was thinking to myself, I was actually pretty much, now this is me trying to also get past the fact that I was also humongously disturbed walking out of the theater. Because as I said, I was surprised with the ending, but I was also disturbed, because that's how extremely pervasive the ending was, I thought. Even for a PG-13 horror movie, this was actually a rather intense and very strong ending. But then, anyway. Now, in regards to the movie as a whole, the movie is very good. I mean, I actually gave it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't exactly call it one of the best movies of the year because I'd actually kind of be more concerned to go with it as a honorable mention as that time rolls around when I start looking back on the movies of 2010. But actually, I actually enjoyed the movie, flat out. In regards to the controversy, I think that they need to take another look at this. Take another look at it from a film aesthetic point of view. If there's a point where you got to create an ending like that that basically it gives a signal to the audience they basically need to use their imagination. That's all it really requires. It really requires the audience to engage themselves in what is going on and just use your imagination. That's really what the ending wants you to do. It's basically the same thing as Paranormal Activity or stuff like, other stuff like that, where it basically ends flat out, goes to black from whatever action was going on. And it just requires you to just, okay, let me decide for this myself. That's what it's asking you to do. I mean, that's certainly what I'm going to do. I mean, it was totally that good of an ending. Now, the fact that I gave this rating, a rather good rating, I, of course, look forward to your emails and comments. For those of you who have seen the movie and hated the ending, I look forward to reading those. And, of course, if you haven't seen the movie yet and are going to or plan to, drop your thoughts to me, and I will, talk you through it. But until then, be sure to check out our website. We are updating it, so stay tuned and hear of our newest material. And our website is, of course, as before mentioned many times, therpmshow.com. And, of course, we are on Facebook, MySpace, and, of course, we are on iTunes. And also check out more of our videos on our YouTube page. You can find all our addresses on our website, or our links, I should say. But until then, I will see you at the movies. And stay tuned for my next video review, which will be of the yada yada of whatever. So until then, stay tuned.